Hi everybody and welcome to my channel. Hey, today is a really bright day and so I'm hoping that this will come out really good, but I wanted to do a really quick video to bring you along while I trim both my Magdalena Thomasini Hardy Fuchsia here, my Rosa Sharon right back here, as well as my butterfly shrub back here. My butterfly shrub, I'm still on the fence of whether I want to move it out or if I want to, put it somewhere else or whatever. I'm just kind of indecisive right now. Now, typically I will trim my fuchsia like maybe a foot from the ground, but because it completely is flocked with growth on the old wood, I'm just gonna cut it down up to a certain point. So I'm gonna bring you along so I can show you how I'm gonna be trimming it, because I'm not really hurting it. It's still gonna grow and about 6 feet tall, and it's still gonna get about 3 feet wide. Now these fuchsias are extremely hardy. They're beautiful in the summertime. They bloom all summer long. In fact, we have them here at the beach. I think I mentioned that on another video. I'll link it up here. Yeah, they're really hardy. So they like humidity, which Oregon does get a little bit of humidity, but they do good in just about any environment. They do require a little bit more sun than most fuchsias, but they are just stunning. You can't go wrong with them. The only thing that they require is really having good drained soil, but outside of that, they're really pretty resilient plants. So yeah, so without going any further, because I do want to make this a quick video, I'm going to show you really quick on how I'm going to trim it, and then down the road in the summer I will show you what it looks like after I have trimmed it. So on another video, that is. So I'm going to bring you up close. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be cutting it down probably to this level. And what I'm going to be doing, because I don't want to really hurt it, because it is, like I said, it's got a lot of foliage throughout this whole thing. I mean, I'm stunned because I have never ever seen it do this before in all the years. Of course, then I've never waited this long. I just kind of procrastinated a little bit this year. But so what I'm going to be doing is that down here, you can see some clumps right down here. I'm going to take it that far. And then that's going to force a lot more growth. I mean, there's a lot of growth down at the bottom yet to come up. So this will force the foliage to continue and force it to come out more in the bottom and not make it so lanky. Lanky. Is that a word? Lanky? Anyway. So yeah, so I'm just going to do this really quick, show you how it's done, but at least you kind of have an idea of what I'm going to be doing. So there, that looks so much better, and it's just going to get just as tall, just as wide. So I'm not worried about it at all. It's got a ton of new growth down below, but it looks much better. Okay, on to the Rosa Sharon. So just to kind of reiterate what I had done on my previous video, this sustained a lot of damage because of the ice storm that we got. These will get probably about 8 to 10 feet tall and probably about 4 to 5 feet wide. They make a great hedging, and that is exactly why I don't want this over here unless it's in a pot, because it's just overwhelming for this side, and I really don't want another tree in this yard. I'm still on the fence. I may just put it in a pot, but for now I'm going to clip it down. And there's no harm in pruning it down at this point, at this time of the year. They're very hardy, they're very resilient plants. It's just not going to kill it. And if it does, well, I'll get another plant. But I think I'm pretty good. It is starting to get its flowers, so I do have to thread lightly with this, but nevertheless, it looks ugly right now, so I'm going to trim it. So in the way that I'm trimming it, I'm also doing the same concept that I did on the fuchsia. I'm going to just find the next clump as far down as possible on the shrub and then cut it to that point. Now typically what you want to do when you actually do prune this, and you want it to be a hedge, is you just want to do every other one of them so that it can be tall. But I don't want it to be tall, so that's why I'm cutting it way back. Okay, so it looks like I really butchered it, but trust me, it's gonna get really big, and it's also gonna force a lot of the new starts further down on the stems. In fact, I'm gonna bring you closer so that you can see all the foliage that is coming up from down below. So as you can see, there's a ton of foliage right down there. All that foliage that you saw that was down here, it's just gonna force it to come out. Going to get thicker, whiter, more beautiful, more healthier looking, and like I said, I'm still on the fence about whether I'm going to move it in another place, but for now it's going to stay here for at least a little bit. So now I'm going to trim my butterfly shrub here down to about right here, and it's still going to get beautiful, it's still going to bloom. Doesn't that look so much nicer? Oh my gosh. And that's just by trimming it down. It's just going to force more growth throughout this whole entire bottom part, but it's still going to get tall. Now my intentions wasn't to include this Abutilon Chinese lantern, but I'm going to go ahead and trim it because it really needs it before the season progresses, because I really want to see how well it does this year. Like I said, I've had it here for 3 years. It's been doing wonderful, but I mentioned this on my last video, how it took a beating because of the ice storm that we had. So if I don't trim it now, while I'm in the process of trimming the other ones, I may procrastinate, and then this will get too far down the road and will look really leggy. So yeah, so I'm gonna trim it real quick. And this one here, I'm gonna trim it quite a ways down. I'll bring you really close so you can see that. But pretty much wherever the stem is right here, I'm gonna cut it. So like this has a lot of foliage coming in. I'm gonna leave this one alone, but this one equally has a lot of starts coming out. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut that one right there. Cut those, just really kind of cut these way down here. This one's getting really lanky, but it does look like it wants to have shoots over here. So I'm gonna cut it right there. So it looks like I butchered it, but it will come back. So I will show it to you in another video of how it's going to be progressing, but it's going to survive. So I'm really excited about that. Okay, so that's going to do it for me for today. As you can see, my hardy fuchsia, my rose of Sharon, my butterfly shrub that I always call a tree, are all looking really nice right now. And trust me, they are going to get big. They're going to get just really bushy and just overall going to look much better than they did. I'm so happy that I did it now to look at the Abutilon, but as you can see, it's looking so much better than it did when I first showed it to you. Anyway, I will have noises around here because I do live in a neighborhood. I have cars going, I have crows crowing, I've got people talking. You know, on a beautiful day, everybody comes out. It's just natural. So hope that you can put up with that. But get up, get out, get active. But more importantly, thank you so much for joining me today. Mwah! I love you guys. I will see you guys in my next video.